Boys, it's depending on when I upload this video, a few hours away from UFC 315. And am I the only one that, there's no hype going into this fight card at all? Am I excited? I don't know. It's a weird feeling. I haven't felt this lack of hype for a fight card for a pay-per-viewed event, and I can't even remember when. And it's just because of how ass this pay-per-view card is. And I've been putting off making this video because, again, this card is so dog shit. It is what it is. As you can see on screen, we got this amazing looking tier list. We are going to go through every single fight on this pay-per-view in pretty much random order. And we're going to be ranking it on best, good, mid, bad, and worst. And if this is the first time you've seen me make these videos, pretty much good, mid, and bad, we can stack up as many fights as we want. But best and worst can only have one fight in it. Let's start off random order again. Alexa Grasso, Natalia, Silva. Now, pretty much, I think this is, it's a women's fight at the end of the day, so it can't be highly up there, but I think it's going to be better than the classic, boring 29-28 split decision women's MMA fights. This is high level women's MMA, but at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a mid fight. I do try to be a little bit harsher, with these rankings. I'm not going to just because they're a high level guy, just because they're a high level woman, and just because you have a bunch of fans, lusting over your feet, I'm not going to put you in good. I think this is a mid fight. It's going to be okay. It's not going to be anything special. Let's move down. Benoit Saint-Denis versus Kyle Pollock. Now, again, same thing. I think if this was Joel Alvarez, this had an argument to be in good/best, one of the two, but it's pretty mid, mainly because we're going to see Benoit Saint-Denis go out here and do whatever he wants to Kyle. And there is a possibility we see a huge upset, which I'm hoping for, to be honest. I'm hoping for a crazy upset here. I guess I can put it in good. I think it's going to be a fun fight. However, am I that excited for it? No. Do I care who wins? No. Does the winner of this have any different standings in the rankings or anything like that? Not really, other than Kyle, but yeah, I'm putting it in mid. I'm going to be honest. This shit's mid. This card is so mid, to be honest. Mid/bad, this entire card. Let's move down. Brad Katona versus Bekazat Alham. Now, again, not hyped for this whatsoever. Everyone's glazing Alham after he fought Umar Nurmagomedov, but how many times have we seen these dudes come into the UFC on short notice, perform very well, and then in their next fight shit the bed? Too many to count on. Again, I'll put it in mid, but that's me being generous. This is I'm putting it in bad. I don't give a shit. It's a bad fight. Brad Katona, not really the funnest guy on here. Yes, he's active. Yes, he's out here not being a boring. I'll put it in mid. Okay, I've changed my mind. He's going in mid. Again, a lot of these fights are just plain out mid, and it is what it is. Now, this could go into a good fight depending on what version of Alham comes in here, but again, how many times have we seen it where we've seen some dude come in here short notice, do extremely well, and then we hyped him up being like, yeah, he's gonna do so good in his next fight, and they just shit the bed. Too many to count. I'm putting it in mid. I think this fight's gonna be good. Daniel Santos, Kyung Young Lee. Now, this might be surprising, but again, I think this is going to be fun. I think it's going to end up in probably a finish, and I think Daniel Santos is coming out here, and he's getting the upset win on short notice. I'm going to put it in good. Yes, surprising. I know a lot of people don't really have this one. This is like a sleeper one. This one, in my opinion, this is a if you know type of fight, and probably one of my more anticipated fights on these prelims/early prelims. I don't know where these guys are scheduled. They're in their early prelims, so probably my most anticipated fight on these early prelims. I'm putting it in good. Another good fight, co-main event, Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. Honestly, this could even go into mid, but I'm not going to I want to put it in mid so bad, but I'm not going to disrespect it like that. It's a good fight. It is the clear #1 contender fighting the champion. It's a good fight. It's just that, as of recently, Valentina hasn't looked the greatest. She hasn't looked super dominant, nor has she looked really that exciting. There's some one-off moments here and there, and the same thing for Manon. I think Manon's being overhyped, in my opinion. And again, I said this in my prediction video. I can't, predict any of these up-and-coming girls, or, girls specifically, to beat any of these goats of their division. I saw it with Tatiana Suarez. I bought into the Tatiana Suarez. I've been saying for months, I've been saying it for like a year, that Tatiana Suarez was going to be the new champion and beat Wei Li. and we all know what happened there. And I feel like the same thing's gonna happen here, to be honest. But yeah, it's a good fight, probably the best women fight on this card. But let's keep moving down. Jessica Andrade, Jasmine Judoviscus. It's also a decent fight. I think, am I psyching myself out to be like, yeah, this is gonna be a good fight as well? I don't want to put it in good, but it might have to go. I'm going to put it in mid. It's not mid though. It's decent. It's a decent fight. I'm going to give it that. Yes, it's a women's MMA fight, but it's decent, you know. I wish there was a decent section, but it'll go into good, but it's like it's borderline good, you know. It could go into mid. I'm putting it in good. Moving down, Jose Aldo versus Aiemann Zahabi. I've been saying I feel like this is a tailor-made matchup for Aldo. And if I didn't have another fight on here, you know, just recently, this was going to be like the best fight. But just recently, I changed my mind on that. It's going into good. Probably one of the best ones on here. And arguably, you know, the best fight on here. But I have one more here that I think is going to be the best that I haven't shown just yet. But let's keep moving down. We have Marc-Andre Barriault versus Bruno Silva. This is going to be surprising to a lot of people. I think this is the worst fight on the card. I feel like this is the worst one by a decent chunk, and that's mainly because both these dudes are well past their prime. They've looked like hot garbage in their recent performances. Now granted, Marc-Andre Barriault hasn't looked as bad as Bruno Silva. He's just been caught a few times, but Bruno Silva has looked so bad in his last few fights. And we can go on and talking about, you know, the double eye poke knockout against Bruno Silva. We can go on and talk about that against Chris Weidman, but not even including that one, he just hasn't looked that good. And I think this is gonna be a blowout performance from Marc-Andre Barriault. Yes, both these guys are bad. I think Marc-Andre is just a little bit better. But yeah, I feel like this is the worst one. There's arguments to be made that, you know, maybe Brad Katona, maybe, honestly, I don't know if you can say much more other than Mark. I feel like should be unanimous that this is the worst one. But let's move down. We have Mike Malott, Charles Radtke. I'm excited for this one. I'm putting this one in good as well. I feel like this is a good fight. I'm excited for this one, and it's mainly because I want my boy Charles Radtke to go out here and say it again. And again, I feel like this is a good tailor-made matchup for Charles Radtke. I feel like he can weather the early storm and catch Mike Malott quitting in round 3. I feel like that's gonna happen. I'm gonna laugh so hard if Mike Malott quits in round 3 again. And I hope, you know, Charles Radtke just says some crazy stuff to the Canadian fan base just booing him. But let's keep moving down. Another good fight on this card. Modestas Bukauskas versus Ion Cutelaba. I'm telling you guys, Ion Cutelaba is on that run to the belt, and he's getting that belt. But I don't think this is going to be a long fight. I think it's going to be very fun for as long as it lasts. Even though, you know, you could say this has a possibility to be really fun, but Ion Cutelaba can be a little bit of a decision merchant. But as of recently, something just switching Ion, and he's out here going for blood, going for the finish. And that also goes into the Jose Aldo pick. You know, Jose Aldo, he's like a completely new dude. If you've been seeing the interviews, if you've been seeing the press conference, Jose Aldo is a little bit different. He's pissed about that Mario Batista fight. He's coming out for blood. He's coming for finishes. Hopefully we see some nasty low kicks. Hopefully we see a vintage Jose Aldo. And I've been saying it, you know, this is a tailor-made matchup for him. Let's keep going down. Navajo Sterling, Irvin Aslan, pretty much same thing as Cutelaba and Bukauskas. This is a fun fight. It's going to be a good striking match, I think, and I don't think it's going to last all 3 rounds. I think we're going to see a nice highlight reel KO, and I think it's going to be a nice standing fight. Now, the best fight on this card, you guys probably won't agree with me, but once you hear my explanation, you'll agree with me. Belal Muhammad, Jack Della Maddalena. On paper, this isn't the most exciting fight in the world. However, it's the implications moving forward. We saw at the press conference, whoever wins is going to dictate the UFC 317 main event. And just that alone, I'm rooting so hard for Belal Muhammad, which I never thought I would do, but I'm rooting for Belal. I want him to get it done so we can see Islam versus Ilya. And honestly, if Jack Della Maddalena gets it done, it just log jams so many different divisions, to be honest. It log jams welterweight, it log jams lightweight, and I just hate that. Plus, to be honest, if Jack Della Maddalena gets it done, and we see Islam Makhachev move up, that's probably his last fight, is going up double belt status, and he'll retire, Islam Makhachev. So I don't want to see that just yet. I'm hoping Belal gets it done, and it's more of the backstory than anything. It's more of the implications than anything why this is the best fight on the card, because it has so much implications moving forward for the next year of the UFC, for the remainder of the year. With that being said, let me know in the comments below, do you agree or disagree with any of my placements? A lot of mid, there's some good ones, and honestly not that much bad now that I'm looking at it. maybe I was too lenient with some of these ones, but yeah, not many bad fights. Maybe I should have moved people like I don't know, Brad Katona isn't bad, right? I think. I don't even remember what I have it right now, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is a good ranking. This is very surprising, to be honest. I'm surprised of how little bad there is and how many mid, but with that being said, thank you guys for watching to the end of the video, and I will see you guys in my next video.